open source or offer for other developers who can test it and develop. But the program for the night is Antonio is going to do a demo of class, and then we're going to have a few folks afterward say a few words, including someone from the Google development group, someone from AJ, I'm pretty different Citizen Hub, as well as someone from Social Radar, So Antonio, would you like to come up?
Hello, hello. How many glass devices we have here? Noble, where are you? Okay, one. Anybody else? Darn. Who else is Explorer? You got one too? Okay, yeah, that works. Alright, so what I'm going to do a demo of class, I promise, but before, we've been getting many questions about the device, what it does, what is it, what happened to it. Maybe you happen to hear about the Google Glass Explorers and the Pioneers and the Glass competition and all these things. So we want to give you like a brief summary of the history of Glass, like for the last year, and then explain a little bit about what Glass is, so that you have an idea of what you can do and what you can build with Glass. And after that, we'll get into doing a demo, which I hope it works the first time I do this. So let's see. So I'm going to start with this. Who saw Sergey Brin last summer doing the demo of Glass for the first time? Was awesome, right? Who was there actually at the Google I/O? Brad? Good. I was there. They were doing a really boring presentation of Google Class. They were announcing events, which is awesome that they have events in Google Class, but you know it's not like Glass at all. And then Sergey Brin came in the stage and said, "I'm sorry, I have this time-sensitive demo I want to do right now." And they presented Glass, and they said, "And it's only $1,500 bucks." And we all ran to get in line to get one. They totally sold it for us. And if you go to the Wikipedia page of Google Glass, you've seen this picture that I actually took. That's the picture I took when I was ordering my Glass at the Google conference last year. This lady was working for Google, and I asked her if I could take a picture of the device. I was so excited. I was waiting in line to pay $1,500 bucks. I hadn't told my wife at that time that I was doing that. And she must be somewhere in the audience. But I was excited. I did it. I paid the cash for it. And good thing is that we needed to wait a lot to get Google Glass. So that was last summer. They told us soon you're going to be able to pay for it and have it. It didn't happen until last week. So, but before, a bunch of us were lucky enough to get into something that they call the Glass Foundry. One in New York, another one in San Francisco. And those are the people that Google call the Glass Pioneers. Before, the people that are getting Glass are explorers, and people who got to play with it and hack with Glass at that point were the pioneers. I'm just saying it because I'm pretty sure that you heard all these words and you weren't sure what they mean. And so that's me during that event, getting my Pioneer piece of Glass. Noble was also there, Juan was also there. So a few people here went to that event. So pretty awesome. We got to play with the device. Now, last week is when we went to New York to the Chelsea market. They have the top floor in the Chelsea market. You go there and you actually pick the device up. And it's, I don't know if you are going to pick it up soon, But it's a pretty awesome experience. They spend a lot of time with you. I spent like 3 hours there, like asking any questions. I was asking all kind of ridiculous questions, and they were like really cool about it and helping you out, like to develop, to test it, to try apps, to give them feedback, anything you wanted. So that's how it looks when you go and pick it up right now. You can also get it shipped if you want, but I think it's more fun when you go and talk to them. So what is Glass? So for us, Glass is a wearable computer. So it's a new thing. It's a new way of experimental technology because it's not just a mobile phone or a tablet that you have sometimes with you. It's something that you wear. It's something that you have with you. It's titanium. It's very resistant. It's part glass and then some plastic to put everything together. The screen is pretty good. Some of you already play with it. Happy to show you later. That's what they say. That quote is from the Google website, so that you get an idea of what it means to have glass in front of you. And then you have photo, you have video, and you have audio. That's pretty awesome too. Pictures are pretty good. Actually, I want to take a picture right now. So you can take pictures just using a little button that you have here. So I just look at you guys and click the button, and I just took a picture of you all. Okay. I will put everything in the Meetup website so you can see how it works, right? So maybe you want to do something funny now, like clap or just do something with your hands or whatever. Come on, don't be shy. You want to be famous? Awesome. So that's how you take pictures, okay? So people believe that Glass is taking pictures constantly of you, that you have no privacy, that you don't know what they're doing, that they're analyzing you, that they see you naked. Not true. Okay? I wish. We're working on that app, but that hasn't happened yet. So it's something that you need to actually interact with the device to do it. So if I'm talking to you, you will see I'm taking a picture of you. It's not gonna happen like automatically or anything. You can also take video, and you also get audio. And you see I don't have anything in my ear. Okay, something called bone conduction transducent. I'm not an engineer for that. Something like that. And so basically, it makes your bone vibrate. So inside, let me show you. So inside of the device, right here, I don't know if you can see, there is like a button, which is not a button. It's something that gets in your phone, and then you hear audio. So if you do a Google search and you get some results, they will give the results to you, and you just get the audio from here. Say it again. Works very well. You can try it if you want. You can even have phone conversations if you want. You can do phone calls and hang out. So. Okay, so you also have connectivity. You have internet via Wi-Fi. You use Bluetooth. You have your battery. You can charge it with USB. It works for 1 day. Although if you do some heavy use of the device, and we are doing it, it will last less than a day. But if you do video or a lot of GPS, Hangouts, it will be less than a day. But otherwise, it will be like one normal day. At the end of the day, you need to charge it. So quite convenient. You have 16 gigs of space in the device. Everything goes to the Google server, so don't worry about it. You lose Glass, hope not. You lose it, it breaks, you switch accounts, whatever. Everything is backed up, so that's very convenient. What else? Apps. By default, you have some Google apps, the ones you would expect. You have Gmail, you have Google+, you have Google Search, you have Google Now. That's pretty awesome. I don't know if you guys know Google Now, but it's really cool. Basically, you don't do anything to ask for information, you just get the information you need when you need it. And it works pretty well. And also you can have some other third-party apps at this point, like official apps. When you go to the dashboard of Google Glass, you have like 3 apps at this point. Actually 2. They announced Evernote and Sketch, but it's not in the kind of market that they have at this point. It's not really a market. But you can use New York Times and Path, the private social network. So those you can use right now. And also you have a companion Android app, which is convenient because you use it with your cell phone, and it integrates with your Android, and you can use the GPS and the text messaging in your cell phone to integrate in here. So basically, you can answer and reply messages and use the GPS using this guy. And you can show in the screen of your cell phone what you are seeing. So if someone doesn't believe you that you are doing something with class, you can actually show them what you are seeing. So nice for demos and presentations. And so one important thing as well, got many questions about it, so I want to make this clear now. You can have a shower with it if you want. I do it. I have my shower every day, and I have glass with it. I'm sorry, Marvin, that I included a naked guy in the presentation. So this is something you can do. This is what Google says you have to do. Okay, so be careful with the way you use glass in the shower. All right. So this thing that I'm showing you, people say that it's not really natural, that it looks weird, that you see that I'm wearing these like shades. They are totally plastic, it's not prescription, you can remove them. Just wanted to say this is something that Google is testing right now. So if you have ideas, if you have feedback, just let us know, or let Google know. They are evolving, they are releasing updates to the software. This is just like the first time that they are putting it on the hands of developers, but they are really listening to what we say. So this guy is $1,500 now if you're a developer and you want to get it. Or if you apply for this, if I had glass thing. I think, who applied for that if I had glass? You got it? You got it in the program? Awesome. So yeah, if you're a developer or you IO or that hashtag, you could get one. And this is something that they already have. When I was picking up glass in New York last Saturday, they already had a couple of Googlers wearing this kind of glass. So they are integrating it in normal classes so that maybe when you go to your optics in the future, you just get glass as like an extra fee. You just pay $200-300. And I say $200-300 because the components of glass are pretty standard. Probably the piece of glass is the most expensive part, but the rest are components that you find on normal smartphones. So basically, I don't think it's going to be really expensive for Google to mass produce this device. So hopefully it will be way cheaper than $1,500 when it gets to the market. Okay, now I'm going to get just a little bit technical. I don't want to try to go quickly over this. Many people here I know are developers and they want to know a little bit more about this. So I was mentioning you can do apps for Google Glass. This is the New York Times page. Let's go to nytimes.com/Google Glass and you will see this page. But notice one thing. This is not an app, a screenshot from my Glass, or this is not a screenshot from an Android device. This is a web app. And this is because when you are developing for Glass, you are using an API, not an SDK. And what that means is that it's not like when you develop apps for Android or iOS that you have an SDK that you install in your computer and then you create the app that installs in the Glass. Here you don't install anything in Glass at this point. Everything is a web app. You have everything in the cloud. And whenever I do something with my Glass, it goes to Google and from Google to your app. So when you start thinking about how are you going to develop apps for Google Glass, try to think that this is not like a new Android device. This is a new device with a new way of developing apps. This is the way it works, what I just explained. Whenever your service wants to interact with Glass, notice it's not in Glass, it's not installed inside the device. You need to go through Google for every request. So everything is web, everything is HTTP requests. So when you do your app, use what they call the Mirror API. That's the way of doing it. So you don't really do apps, you do cards. So whatever you see here in the screen, and we will see it hopefully in a second, are like cards that are going in a timeline. That's what you actually develop. And you can develop those cards using HTML and CSS that they provide. And you can play and you can put the information there that you want. You can create custom actions and you can send that information back to your server and do some magic there and then send it back to the user. But everything works that way, using kind of cards that you have in your device. And you subscribe to notifications, and notifications are to the timelines, the thing that the user does when they interact with the device, which we'll show you in a second. Also, when you get the user moving and they change their location, you can track the user location, you get geographic coordinates if you want from the user. And if you're a developer, you have to take into account two things too. You cannot charge for the app at this moment, and you cannot put ads on your app, okay? So if you're thinking about how to monetize something, you need to take into account that at least during the Explorer program, you cannot do anything. So if you want to get cash from your app, you have to think of other ways. So probably that will change, but we don't know. So just think about it. And finally, last slide, that's something that happened recently, and I just wanted to clarify. I don't know if you heard in the news that people were starting to say that hackers just jailbroke Glass and they rooted it, and then it's unlocked and they can do all kind of things with it. Well, it's true, but the real thing is not that they're doing anything that Google doesn't want. It's actually Google did it on purpose. So when you have these kind of devices, you know that they can be locked or unlocked, so this device is by default unlocked. So Google on purpose is leaving it open with an API from the beginning. Remember when the iPhone was launched, you didn't have an SDK, you couldn't do apps. For this guy from day zero, you have an API. So that's pretty awesome because they are keeping a platform that is quite open for developers to work on. So kernel source of the device is being released, the API is available, the device is unlocked, I don't know, and it's an Android device, by the way. And you know that it's open source project, so it's a pretty open device to develop on, and that's, from a developer perspective, is pretty awesome because you don't feel that you're constrained on the kind of things that you want to do. Okay, cool. So that's all I wanted to say, and now I want to try a demo of the device. Now I just want to make a fool of myself, so I'm going to need a couple of minutes to set this up. Maybe Marvin has some wise words to mention in the beginning, or someone else, while I just connect a couple of cables.
I'm not sure how fast this is going, so this is a typical app, if you want, of the device, the settings app, and when you see this folding icon on the top right, that means that if I click on it, I'm going to get to further screens. I get to something else that is going there. So right now you're seeing the settings of my app. Okay? Well, by the way, this is where you can actually define what you're using, the angle to turn it on. So if I actually click here, I can say that I want to set a different angle. And look, when I move my head, the number is changing, right? And I can say that 30 was fine. Done. And this is one example of what you can do with the device that you cannot do as a developer. So the device knows the position of your head. You don't know that as a developer, okay? That's a limitation of the API at this point. I don't know if that will change in the future, but someone was mentioning I want to do an app to teach my kids to walk straight because they walk like this, and that's bad for their head. And it's like, awesome idea, you cannot do it with Glass yet because you don't know that number, you don't know the angle. Okay, that's why I was stressing the idea that it's an API, not an SDK. So those are the kind of things that make a difference. So back to the app and back to the main function. So everything is a timeline. So you see, I'm just getting, oh look at these people here. I think I met them before. Oh boy, handsome guy. So you see, it's a timeline of events in front of you, and every one is just a card. Look, this is the New York Times app, by the way. I can just click here, and I get few news from the New York Times, and I can click on one app, one card, and if I click again, it's going to read the news for me. And you're not going to hear anything because this setup doesn't support the audio, but basically you can It's not a good device to read a long piece of text, but it's a good device if you send text to your users, the device will read it for them. So you can just be walking in the street, you can be just like looking at what is around you, and the device is reading the latest news from New York Times Radio. So let's go back. Okay, glass. Take a picture. All right. So that's the second way of taking pictures. You can do everything with your voice. So it's working, which is great. I wasn't very sure that this was going to work with the mic and this setup. So basically you control everything with your voice. So you have a main menu and you say, okay, glass. Come on. Google, how tall is Michael Jordan? And then you get the results. I don't know if you can hear, but it's actually reading me that information from you, okay? So, okay, glass. Google, how old is Barack Obama?
You just lost the screen.
I keep saying it.
Does search only access cards, or can you do that thing?
There is no browser here. What's the question? Sorry?
Sorry.
Yeah, there is no browser. So it's not that you can go to a normal URL and try browsing it. You need to adapt the content of whatever you want to show to this format. Cool. Okay, glass. Google. Do I need an umbrella today? So, I guess there's no way you can hear that. But basically, not only is showing that information, it's actually telling me, no, you don't need an umbrella today because blah, 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 blah. So you get everything is a visual feedback, right? Audio feedback. Okay, glass. Record a video. Record a video. Okay, glass, record a video. You're gonna be able. Come on. What are you doing? Okay, class. Okay. Record a video. So no word. Record a video. So I have a beautiful accent that is not getting here. So that's an extra challenge for this guy. It's an app that is working with everything I said. So let's try another one. Get directions to the White House.
Antonio, is it multilingual yet?
Say again?
Is it multilingual yet?
No, it doesn't get the English from Spain yet. So it's looking for directions right now. It's actually talking to me about what it's doing. It's now trying to get the GPS out of my cell phone. I don't know if it's going to work because we're inside. Okay, cool, it's working. So I think something I want to show you is that when I move my head, hopefully you will see that at some point. So normally when you're outside, I guess that because we're inside a building, it doesn't work that well. Basically, when you're looking at the directions, it will tell you exactly which way you need to take. Right now, it doesn't want to do it, because that would be too cool. But, so basically, I don't know if it happens to you when you're with your cell phone with directions, and sometimes you don't know if you need to go south, south, north. You know that you need 15, but you don't know exactly which one, right? So basically, you just like move your head, and the arrow will tell you, no, you're a stupid guy, it's the other way, right? So now it seems working, or not, I don't know. But believe me, it does it, and it's pretty cool, and that's one of the things that you can get out of the device. Yeah, I think that the GPS is not being really accurate right now, or maybe the connection with the cell phone, I don't know. So let me stop this. And I need to stop it. And I can get back to the main screen. All right. I don't know, you can ask all kind of questions. Yeah, sure.
My question is, you said it's an API and not an SDK.
Correct.
So what, do you have any of the feedback from the native features of the device? Like, is that any, what of that is available by I assume, a JavaScript API or?
It's a RESTful API,
Okay.
so basically you can use any language that you want. You can use Python, Ruby on Rails, Java, including JavaScript if you want. So you have access to some of the features from the device. For example, the GPS. You can query the device using the API to get the latitude and longitude. That's information that you supposedly normally get out of an SDK. And the way it works is that you contact the Google server. The Google server will contact LAST, will get the location, and it will give it back to you. But with a twist. So you can ask for the location 10 times per second if you want. Google is going to give you an update every 10 minutes. So it's limiting the amount of information that you're getting. Probably because they want to take care of the battery, also because of privacy reasons. So you can get some access to information, but it's limited at this point.
Also, do you have to, I guess, authenticate a card that you set on? What is the authentication for this?
So it's OAuth tool. If you are familiar with the protocol, easy one to use, right? Just use the libraries that Google provides, otherwise it's going to be a big mess. But basically, you just OAuth and that's it. You don't even need to create user accounts if you don't want. Sure.
What information can you get from your Android phone? It's just GPS and text messages? Or
Yeah.
what can you get?
So when it would be too much to try to connect this guy to the laptop as well and try to show you. But basically, you get a companion app that shows you the location of your glass. So I guess if you lose it, if you don't know where you left it, it will tell you the exact point where it is. You also need to whitelist contacts. So let me actually try to get to a picture. So if I wanna, so if I go to a picture and I want to share this picture, it will give me, where is Steph? Where is Steph? There you go. I want to share that with Steph. I can click here and it will be shared with her, right? For her to be there, I need to add that contact beforehand. You don't want to be sharing stuff so private with people by accident, right? So you need to whitelist some contacts, and you do that with your Android app as well. You can do that also through a web interface, but basically functionality is GPS text messaging at this point. Yes?
That's something you can change.
No, you can't. So he was asking me, so you saw at the beginning, I need to say, okay, glass. He was asking if I can change that. If I can say, hey, Google, blah, blah, blah. You can't. I guess that's a nice feature request. We should ask Google to do it. Any other question? Yeah?
Which Android phone is best, or is there certain operating systems you need to get?
So the app requirements, I think, is a 4.0 or better. My device is a Nexus device, Galaxy Nexus, Nexus 4, or whatever they are releasing next month or in 2 weeks in the Google conference. They work better for those devices, but yeah, just use a modern device. I guess that, yeah, any other modern Android will work.
How much design leeway is there when you're designing cars if you have to follow their exact, I notice everything is the white text and that's written on the black background.
So they provide the CSS. Let me show you. So they provide a CSS for you, and then you provide the HTML. So if you're a designer, or basically when it comes to colors, font type, font sizes, location of the different elements, all of that it's controlled by the CSS. You can play with it, and you have some options. But at this point, they provide some templates, and you have in the API you have something they call the playground. So basically, if you don't have the glass, you can actually play with it and see real time how it works. Sure.
So when we were looking at the screen, it was pretty laggy. How much of that is you?
That's the app that I'm going to connect.
When you're
It's,
seeing directions, that's great.
yeah, it's because of the app that I'm using. It's the best I found. Actually, this one is recommended by Google's, but it takes some time here. It's laggy, but it's actually the device is very snaggy. Yeah.
You say it's CSS and HTML delivered to the card. How much device information and advanced HTML file tags do you actually get looking at that?
So you don't send like the whole page. You don't need to start sending like the HTML and the head and everything. You just go to section, blah blah blah, paragraph, blah blah blah.
I would say, can you access the accelerometer, the gyroscope?
I don't think so. Yeah.
Question on the optics. So you've got some hardware on the right side view. How does that project? So are you seeing the same image out of both lenses, or is it only out of one lens?
Oh yeah. So these lenses, you mean?
Yeah.
This is just fake. Let me remove them. Copy this out here. You don't need these lenses. This is just something that you put just to make it look a bit more natural. But you see, you remove that and you don't use it. What you are using to look is just this glass here. So basically, you only see the screen in one of your eyes. It's not two eyes. It's not. It's not like virtual reality, immersive experience kind of device. Okay. Actually, it's only one eye, so you don't have a 3D effect or anything like that. Maybe if they have glass in the two eyes, maybe they would do it, but not as well.
Can you get prescription lenses?
Not yet, but I'm pretty sure. I'm wearing my contact lenses right now, which is a pain because I don't like them, but that's the price.
Have you tried to use navigation while you're driving before?
I have not. And I don't know if it's a good idea or not. Sure. One more question?
Can you tell me what the user interaction features are? Like I saw you tap something to take a picture and how you swipe between several cards at once, etc.
So you want to see at the usual interface, or what do you mean?
How do you physically interact with the devices?
So you tap the right arm of the device. This is a touch device. So basically, let me see.
There's just one touch gesture, that's it.
You have. Oops, what am I doing?
Touch it all.
You can just swipe these two directions to move the timeline. You can tap to get two options, and you do this, swipe down, like the back button in Android. You're familiar with Android? This is pretty much the back button. Let me show you just one more thing before Marvin gets angry, which is, let's see if that works. So this is, let me see, where am I? So I need to get to, So I need to go back to settings. I think I need to go to the device info, and I need to say that I want to see the license. And you will say, why do you want to see the license? That's for it. Well, let me show you the license, which is very awesome. So let's see if it works. I need to wait for the license to go. I don't understand why it's taking so much time right now. Okay, again. One more question, meanwhile, that guy there.
What are you seeing in your projection screen? Do you have a screen that you are seeing in your eyes?
Yeah, exactly what you're seeing right there is what I'm seeing in my eye.
What is the maximum resolution?
So I believe it's 640. Yeah.
And the color resolution?
It's so I don't really know the number of colors you can get. I know that the resolution for the camera is 5 megapixels and 720 for the video, but I'm not sure about the number of colors. It's definitely a high definition. Well, I think it's not working. There is an Easter egg in the device. When you go to that boring piece of information that is the device info, and you get a license. For some reason, it doesn't want to work now, but you can see a nice panoramic picture of the whole Google Glass team, and you can actually see them all. And if you move ahead, the image will update. For some reason, it's not loading right now. I guess it's your internet connection or something. So, okay, that's it. Probably Mr. F said. So, thanks so much.
Where those intersect, if there is such an intersection. I am building a fitness app, a little coach in your arm. I call it Glass Fit. More for the stuff that I like to do, like CrossFit type workouts. And it's simple. Don't have a demo. I didn't prepare for this.
Hi, my name is Juan. I'm a Glass developer and early pioneer. Basically, we will be developing for Google Glass. We will use Glass for many things, from acquiring information from the GPS and displaying information based on that data. Things that I want to see from Google Glass is basically being able to access the SDK, in which we will be able to get information from the sensor to program other applications that right now, because of the API, we are not able to do. I will wear Glass all the time. Actually, after trying it for 2 days, it's very addictive. Once you put it on, you don't want to take them off, even in the shower. I'm expecting to see more home automation integration, where you can control things at home, like lights, the TV, and any other things on the house. How much? I will pay $1,500 less taxes for it because I'm part of the Explorer program.
So go ahead, ad-lib and talk about Glass and I mean, what you're going to develop for it. Do any of that. I'm going to grab some more people. Thanks.
Okay, very good. So Glass is a very exciting technology. It has been a long time since the last time I have been so excited about something related with technology. Basically, it's completely game changer. It has a unique interface, and the design is completely different. No more cell phone, no more checking my phone, taking it out of my pocket in front of people. Basically, it will allow me to be interacting with people and not being interrupted by technology, and then get all the information that I needed in the moment that I needed.
Fantastic, that was looking wonderful.
Hi, my name is Bart Gopender. I'm a founder of Mobomo, which builds mobile apps. I started a company called DSky9, which builds Glass apps. So I basically help entrepreneurs start their companies. I love startup space, so that's what I do. So DSky9 is about basically building apps for outdoor enthusiasts. So we have an app called Starfinder that helps you figure out constellations in the sky. We have Ultra Run, which helps you build running apps for, it's basically a training app for runs and stuff. I'm not really interested in the photos and videos yet, but I am interested in notifications. Primarily the notifications are based on connected to your other devices, so like Nike Fit and things. This is actually Nike Band, Feel Band and things like that. So I'm interested in connecting wearable devices, glass, watches, and smartphones together into one platform. How long would I wear for glasses? Probably, if my phone is with me, I'm going to wear my glass as well. Probably when I sleep, I'll take it off, just like my phone will be on the side. I already talked about the apps that I would make. Starfinder to find stars, and also running apps and training apps. I would pay $100 right now to get the glass, but I think sweet spot maybe around $400 in the future.
Pay more?
Right now I would pay more, but because I'm an early adopter, but in the long term it'll be $400.
Great. Now this is kind of obviously just the entree into the whole genre, like you said. You know, watches, bands,
yeah, exactly,
bracelets.
Yeah.
And so, do you think what else is coming around the horizon? A lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, I think it's going to be very disruptive. I hope to see a lot more things than just Google Glass. We're actually going to be glass agnostic. We want to see Google. We want to see other people succeed. We want innovation in this space, basically.
Fantastic. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rolf Hendricks. I am an iOS developer. I've been making iPhone and iPad apps for the past few years. And I'm user experience centric, so I'm mostly developer, part designer. And what I like to do is I like to rethink user interfaces to make them more tangible, to make them not just look good but feel good. So I'm heavily into user experience and user interaction.
So Rolf, why do you think that Google Glass is not relevant to iOS?
It's completely different technology.
SDK versus API? What do you mean?
I mean, they're two completely different devices and they don't really talk to each other at all. It's also a completely different use case. I mean, Google Glass you wear, iPhone you have in your pocket.
Well, you know that Google Glass will be compatible with iOS and Android from the start, right?
Well, I know it's compatible with Android.
And as they mentioned,
I didn't know it's compatible with iOS.
Through Bluetooth. So as I mentioned, Google Glass is not supported by an SDK, but it's an API. So that makes it automatically agnostic. And you just make REST calls to their server to call up cards. So if we can prove that Google is compatible fully with iOS, what would you do with it? What would you push to it? Based on your client's perspective and based on your personal perspective and the direction that you want to go as an iOS developer?
Well, the one thing that immediately comes to mind is GPS coordinates. GPS and maybe orientation. GPS and compass direction. Because I just heard that you don't get live updates of those through the Google API. So if you want something that really updates live as you're moving, like, I mean, just off the top of my head, an automated tour guide would already be something that would be perfect for Google Glasses. And that's something you could make if you...
So you would build possibly an iOS tour guide app for iOS or Google Glass as a part of that ecosystem of your app solution.
Right, that would be one thing that immediately comes to mind.
Okay, what else?
That would be great for Google Glass.
What would your clients want based on what you've already done in the past? So let's extrapolate and hypothesize what your clients would actually want you to extend from their existing apps to Google Glass.
One thing that was brushed on in this meetup, it's always good to think of what's unique to Google Glass. One thing immediately came up, which is the angle of your head. Now, unfortunately, we don't have access to that yet. Maybe we will in the future, but theoretically speaking, if you could use the angle of the user's head in a novel way, game apps maybe.
So what would you personally want to do since you're into gaming with Google Glass? Would you want to do some type of
I'm thinking augmented reality. Definitely
augmented reality?
I hear
streaming from your perspective type deal?
Like a real-life Pac-Man game where you're running from monsters maybe, and they're overlaid onto you and you can hear them.
So you know Microsoft is working on something similar to that for the next Xbox, right?
I don't, but I'm not surprised because it's really hard to have an original idea these days in the mobile space.
So as a consumer, would you purchase Google Glass right now?
Well, I would for the right price.
$1,500, that's the right price right now. Okay, how much would you pay for Google Glass once it goes commercial?
$100 I'd jump on it, easily.
What about $250?
Probably, yeah. $500 I'd start getting really skittish.
Would you consider moving over?
Somewhere in that range.
Would you consider moving over to Android if Google Glass did more for you than iOS? And would you consider developing?
Well, Google Glass doesn't really do more than iOS. iOS is a richer environment.
Well, what I mean, if Google Glass gives you more productivity, if it eases your life, would you migrate and from a personal perspective over to Android?
I would actually, and I wouldn't do it for the tablet.
Okay.
Because the tablet is too similar to iOS already.
Exactly.
Glass is something completely different.
Okay, good. And if there was an API like Mirror that was available for iOS developers as a third-party solution, would you develop Mirror-type second screen apps for iOS devices?
Mirror-type.
So you would get the same experience as Glass, but on iOS.
Excuse me, the same experience as
Same
Glass
experience.
on
So
iOS.
let's say, for example, you're a developer, so you develop for both platforms occasionally, right? So obviously you may have an Android device and an iOS device.
I've never gone into the
Well, in the
Android.
future you may. Wouldn't you want...
Crossed over into web development a little bit, but not into Android.
So would you want a universal second screen experience if it didn't cost or require you to migrate to Android or iOS? You could have your cake and eat it too, both. Would you want to do that as a consumer and a developer?
As a developer, definitely, because I already know iOS development.
So, last question.
It'll be a big deal to learn a new platform. Yes.
Right now, based on this presentation that was given tonight, what do you think of Google Glass, and what are you going to do next? Are you going to go home and do more research?
I'm actually branching out into web development at the moment.
Okay.
Interactive web development, how to do rich user interaction in HTML.
Okay.
iOS. I'm going to keep going in that direction.
So, do you think Google Glass would be a part of that development experience?
No, not in the near future, but after that, the reaction and the turnout is more than I expected, so I'm keeping an eye out on it.
Good. Well, thanks, Ralph. I appreciate it, man. And don't forget, we need to do that iOS develop